Hi everyone, welcome to another Plan With Me video. Really excited to have another one of these. I'm just gonna give it a couple of minutes and let people log in and get set up, and then we'll just jump right in. Let me know if you can hear me okay and if everything looks good. I'm testing out a new mic today because I didn't like the mic I was using last time, so hopefully this one is a little bit better than that one. How is everyone's day going so far? Also, I'm just so excited for this Plan With Me. I've been looking forward to it all weekend. I feel like I really needed something like this after everything that's been going on in the world the last few days. So I'm very excited to just sit down and chill and work on my planner and just hang out with you guys. Oh, thank you. I just tried, these are press-on nails, and I just tried them for the very first time. I so far really like them. I think I'm still kind of getting used to them. I always have my nails painted because I'm always doing overhead videos where you can see. So I always try and have my nails done, but I only ever paint them myself, and I got tired of painting them, so I thought I would try press-ons, and I can't complain. I really like them. They're really pretty. What's everyone's weather like today? We have a beautiful sunny day, but it is very cold. I think it's minus 16 or something today. We've had double digit minus temperatures for the last 3 weeks, and I am so over it. I wish spring would just hurry up, but we have I don't know, probably 3 more months of winter to go, so I better just kind of get used to it. Okay, I think we have decent number of people here, so just jump right in. I think I mentioned this a couple times today. I'm planning on working on my bookshelf page in my planner because I haven't done it at all yet, so I thought it'd be fun to show you how I set that up and go through the whole process, because I get asked about that every time I do a planner video on my Instagram. People want to see more, so I thought that would be a fun thing to do. But before I jump into the bookshelf, I thought I'd do a quick little flip through of kind of how my planner's looking so far, and if there's anything that you guys want me to draw attention to, just let me know. So we've got my goals, important info, my reading checklist. This is all up to date now, so I use my reading checklist as a log. So this is what I've read so far this year, and then I just color coordinate with a little letter and color what month it will be in, and then yeah, so that's everything. So that's all I have so far. And then, like I said, I haven't done anything with my bookshelf pages yet. Got my book series tracker. Haven't done too much with that, except did finish Onyx Storm, and just dying to talk about it. So if any of you want to just slip into my DMs to talk about it, just know they're open, because I have not stopped thinking about that book since I finished it. But I don't want to say anything online because I know people are still working their way through it. So added a couple more pre-orders. I think I mentioned in my last live with me that I'm not a big pre-order, and then just like randomly the other day, I went and pre-ordered like 5 books, I think, that I was like looking forward to. Just figured, why not? We've got my author backlists. I added for my 2025 playlist, I decided to do what my top song of the month was, like whatever song I listened to the most was. I did not listen to that much music in January, so yeah, this was my top song apparently in January, so that's what I'm going to do for each month. I think it'll be fun to see how it goes. I pretty much can guarantee like at least 90% plus will be Taylor Swift, but we'll see. I've only watched one movie. TV tracker. I am doing a rewatch of Schitt's Creek. That's my favorite TV show, in case any of you didn't know that. So, rewatching that because I need something happy in my life these days. So, Schitt's Creek is where it is. How did I find what my top song was? I use stats for Spotify, I think is what it's called. It just like links directly to your Spotify. If you don't use Spotify, I don't know how to figure out, but I use that, and then if you go to like top tracks, it will tell you what your top songs of the last 4 weeks were. Haven't done anything with this page yet because I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I might do like the AFB book club books. That might be a fun little one. Then I also have like in real life book club with some ladies on my street, so I could also do those here. So I haven't decided. Got my 5-star reads. There's an obvious trend here. My A to Z challenge. I haven't added all that I could yet because I'm not sure where I want to put some of them yet. So still working on this. I also like am trying to not put rereads on my A to Z to see if I can do it without rereads. So I'm hoping, I'm just waiting a little bit, but these are the ones I have done so far. I haven't put anything on this other than just penciled in because I feel like I always change my mind. I think I'm going to get some like, I don't know, double-sided tape or something that I can move things around. I feel like that would be fun to be able to shift them as I change where things go, because I never like settle on one until much later in the year. Same with these ones. I've got only one on my Read Through the Ages, and then I've got 2 on my Reading Around the World. Right now I've just like put them in, and I'm doing it based on where the book took place. So those ones. I've got my 25 books in 2025. So far I've read 3 of them, which is pretty good. I feel like I'm making decent progress on that so far. And then my reading goal tracker, I'm doing, the background color is the genre and then the format sticker, which is a little bit different than I've done it before, but I think it'll be really fun to see all the different colors. Battle of the Books, just one so far because we've only finished 1 month. And then my page tracker, all of January is in so far. I love these little chart pages. I have a bunch of them at the back of my planner to track other things, but it's so fun to see them like fill in through the whole year. I've got my monthly reading stats I added in January, as well as my genre tally. Put those in. Nothing for those yet. I haven't done anything on my romance bingo yet, but I have added a couple of books for my AFB bingo. It's one of my favorite pages. I also really love my genre Tetris. Like, I'm obsessed with this. Every time I finish a book, I'm so excited to fill it in. So just put all my books in there. And then I do have like, this is just penciled out because I haven't finalized what I want to, like, if this is how I want to lay it out. But I mentioned this in my last live, how some people do like an embroidery for every book they finish. They do like a little tiny like thing that represents that book, and I thought it'd be fun to do it with doodles. So I've split it into 12, and then so far I've just like in pencil written down what I think I want to draw for each book, but I'm not 100% satisfied with this layout just yet. So far it's just in pencil, but I think it'll be fun if I can figure it out. And we have January. I'll show you that really quick. I use my calendar just for appointments, business things, and then like holidays and birthdays. We've got my books to read, new releases. I'm just gonna show my weeklies really quick because I don't know that anyone really cares about my weekly spreads. And we've got my bookish haul and my reading wrap up. And then some people always want to know what to do with like the dot grid in line, so I thought I'd show you what I do. So this is new for me this year. Now that I got the Canon Ivy little mini printer, I thought it'd be fun to print out a couple of pictures that like kind of sum up what my month was like and put them in there as like a memory thing. And then I do my top music. I've got like artists, songs, and I track my workouts, and then I like list some memorable moments, good and bad, of things that I kind of want to remember. And I love looking back on these at the end of the year just to kind of like see what happened. So I really like doing this kind of thing. And then I haven't done anything in February yet because, you know, it just started. And then to show you the back. So I showed this before, but I have 4 of these little trackers. So I have like health tracker, I have a fitness tracker, and then I do a rate my day and then a temp tracker, just because I thought like I mentioned, I love these little things and I love seeing them fill through the whole year. So that's everything that I've done in my planner so far. So I feel like I can start doing my bookshelf now. I know that we have, okay, so we have this bookshelf, but then also like the main one. I don't read enough in a year to need both of these like spreads. So I think I'm gonna save this for something else, although I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, but I'm gonna save that because I'd rather have all the books that I read in the year on one spread. So I'm gonna start on this one. And I've got, I don't know if you guys can see up here, but I have my pencil crayons, not pencil crayons, colored pencils, that's what you guys call them. Colored pencils up here, and I've got a pencil sharpener and a little container that I put my pencil shavings in because I don't have a garbage in this room. And yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm just gonna jump right in. You guys working on your planners today? And if you are, what are you working on? I'm gonna start with my the shelf part. I think I'm gonna just do the same thing. I think pencil crayons is a Canadian thing, but I think it's regional. I grew up saying pencil crayons, but everyone else I've ever heard, like especially Americans, it's colored pencils, so I always have to like remind myself to say that. But anyways, yeah, little quirky thing. I have seen so many people do the wood grain washi tape, and I think that looks so good, and it's so smart because it would take way less time than coloring it. I don't know, I enjoy coloring, so I feel like that's what I'm gonna do. I also need to set up my February. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow morning. I need to figure out what I want to read for February. I have so many books and I never know how to like narrow down. Okay, so for the bookcase, in case anyone wants to know, I think last time someone asked what colors I was going to use. So I'm using 4 colors for the shelf itself, which is sand, beige, light umber, and chocolate. And I'm using the Prismacolor Premier ones. So these are the ones I'm doing for the shelf. Did you start the book club pick? I did not start it yet. No, I'm actually in the middle of an audiobook right now, and I'm going to do the book club pick on audio, so I need to finish the one I'm listening to first before I do that. I'm listening to, it's called She's Not Sorry. It's a mystery. It was just like a random one my library had, so I thought I would finish that, and then I'll start the book club one. I'm very excited. Everyone has said really good things about it, so I think it's going to be a good one. I'm curious to know what Scott's going to think of the book club pick, because I don't know that he's ever really read a historical fiction before, so I'll be interested to see what he says. I think I saw a couple of you said you were working on your bookshelves too. Yeah, I did just share which ones I'm using, but in case you missed it, I'm using sand, beige, light umber, and chocolate. And I'm gonna take sand first and just do kind of like the edges, just to add some like dimension before I add like the base color. I am planning on reading Two Twisted Crowns. That is a book that I want to get to in February, so that's going to be on my list, as well as the book club pick. I'm very excited for that one. I mentioned this in our book club chat, but I wanted to start it right away as soon as I finished One Dark Window, but I was really worried I wouldn't be able to keep them separated for the chat, so I like held off. So it is on my list for February to get to that one. I 100% think the Prismacolors are worth the price. I have had, let me just grab it. I have had this set of 72 for like 7 years now. And only this past December, I got a bigger set. I didn't need to. Like, the 72 set were fine, but the bigger set was on sale on Amazon, and I just wanted more colors, but they've lasted like 7 years. They're super buttery and smooth, and they blend super well. So I'd say they're worth it. I would recommend getting them on sale, or I think at Michael's you can use a coupon every now and then. So if you don't want to pay full price, like, don't. But I think it also depends on like what you want out of the colored pencils. I love to color, and like I feel like I put a lot into my bookshelf page, so for me it was worth it to invest in them. But that's just like kind of up to you. But I wouldn't recommend any other colored pencils, mostly because these are the only ones I use, but also I just really love them. I think I'm like a little bit, I do my bookshelf differently than I've seen other people. Like, other people like will color like the whole shelf all at once. I don't do that. I color only like what I know I'm going to be doing that day. So like I have 8 books to add, so I'm only going to be coloring like this section for now. And I do that because at the end of the year I want what I didn't read to be left uncolored, just because I think it looks fun to see like the difference. I don't know, it's just the way that my brain works. So I'm only going to be focusing on this little section today. But next I'm going to take the lighter shade, which is going to be my base shade. So this is beige, and I'm basically just going to like color the whole thing. And then I'll add like the wood texture after. It's kind of a bit of a process. There's like layers and stuff. I'm sure there's a different way of doing it. This is just the way I've always done it, and it works for me. So it's what I do. It was tricky to get around the coils. What are you guys reading right now? And would you recommend it? I mentioned I was reading She's Not Sorry. So I'm doing that one on audio. And I just finished, I have a book club with a couple of women on my street, and the book club pick for the month was, oh gosh, The Bayou Never Tells. I think that's what it's called. I just finished that one yesterday on Kindle. I didn't personally love it. I think I gave it 2.5 stars, and that was maybe being generous, but that's just, it just wasn't my style of book, I think. So I am I need to find a new book to read, because I do my audio while I'm working or cleaning or doing laundry, but I need another book to have on the go. But I'm not sure what I want to pick up next. Oh, I love Mistborn. That's a good one. I never finished the series, but I really enjoyed the first one. Remarkably Bright Creatures, love that one. The audio, incredible. It's so good. The Wedding People, also loved that one. And A Torch Against the Night. Don't get me started on Ember and the Ashes series. It's so good. I don't think I could ever say anything. I could talk about the Ember and the Ashes series for so long. It's so good. I have not yet read her newest one, Air. I haven't read that one yet. So if someone's read that, let me know if I should. Okay, next I'm taking Light Umber, which is my lightest brown. And I'm just going to be starting to make the wood texture. So I always think of it as C's and O's, but kind of abstract. So I take it really lightly and just kind of make a jagged, very long O shape, like that. And I'm just doing really light right now to get the spacing. And then I'm gonna do next a C shape next to the wood, or next to the, I don't know, edge there. And then you just kind of alternate size and which side it's on. And you don't want it to be uniform. You just want it to be random. So it will look something like that. And then you do the same thing. And the key with doing the next shelf is you don't want it to be an exact copy. So because this one is on the top edge, I don't want this one to be on the top edge. So I'm going to do it in the center here so that the pattern is off. I'm just doing like really little strokes. And you could do different colors too, like if you wanted a darker wood tone or like a more gray wood tone. I just like the lighter wood tone look. I mentioned earlier that I was watching Schitt's Creek and that it's my favorite show ever. Before that, we were watching No Good Deed on Netflix. Have any of you watched that? Really liked it. I wasn't sure what to expect. I went in like not knowing anything about it, and I ended up really enjoying it. I thought it was like really well done, and it ended up being like a little bit deeper than I kind of thought it was gonna be. It was a good one. But Schitt's Creek will always be my favorite. If you guys have any TV show recommendations, let me know, because I was looking for good shows to watch. I'm going to take my darker brown color. I'm using chocolate, but you could use like whatever one you choose. And this one I'm going really light and just adding a little bit of dimension to what I've already put down with the brown. And I'm like barely putting any, but it's just to add a little bit of like depth. I've never finished Vampire Diaries. I think I only ever got like 4 seasons in. And I've tried to start it so many times to like see if I can get further, and I don't know what it is. I never can finish that show. I'm like that with a lot of shows though. Sometimes it's pretty rare for me to be able to finish a show. I think I lose interest too quickly. But I did not have that happen with Schitt's Creek. Or Ted Lasso, but that's also, it's not a very long, I don't think there's that many seasons of that one. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my lighter brown, and I'm just going to make some like really light little lines on the parts that I haven't done, just to like kind of blend it all together. And this will be like different lengths. And again, it's just like super light. And it's just till we kind of blend it all together. Is anybody gonna be watching the Grammys tonight? Anybody have any predictions? Anything they think is gonna happen or not happen? Or who's gonna win a certain award? Or are you not watching because you don't want to? I think I'm gonna try and watch if I can. I usually will like have it on like kind of in the background and then just like read on my Kindle because they're usually so long. They usually make, I don't know why they make award shows so long. It doesn't need to be, I forget which one I was watching last year, but they showed like 3 actual awards and the rest was just kind of nonsense. And I hope the Grammys isn't going to be like that. Like a lot of the awards were shown like, or announced like off air, which I don't know what the point of even watching is. I have 0 predictions of who's gonna win because I just feel like it's so, I don't know, music politics-y. You just never know. I think a lot of people have been speculating that Taylor's going to announce something. I do not think she's going to announce anything at the Grammys. She announced TTBD last year at the Grammys, and I don't think she'll do the same thing twice, especially because that wasn't super well received with like her peers. Like it wasn't really the place to do it. So I don't think she'll do it again, but I could be wrong. I also don't think there's been enough Easter eggs. But who knows what that girl's doing. Also, part of me just thinks that she won't announce anything a week before the Super Bowl. Last year, Noah Kahan was nominated for Best New Artist, and I knew he wasn't going to win, but I just really wanted him to. You know when you think someone just, like, deserves it, and then it... Anyways, everyone has different opinions on who deserves it, but I just really wanted him to win, and he didn't, and I was kind of bummed about it. So now I try not to make too many predictions, because you just never know. Okay, I'm going to leave my shelves like that for now. I think they're looking pretty good. I'm going to work on my background of the shelves. So I'm going to take 3 colors. And I'm going to use, I don't know if you are using Prismacolors either, but if you want to know what colors I'm using 10% French gray, 20% French gray, and 50% French gray. And we use these 3 colors to make like the background part. First, you need to sharpen. I always have the same top 3 artists, unless like something crazy happens and someone comes out with a new album. But it's always Taylor number 1, Noah Kahan number 2, and Hozier number 3. And that it's been that way for like, I think other than when Gracie Abrams came out with an album last year, I think those have been my top 3, like, really consistently. So, yeah, I also wanted Noah to win very badly, but not the case. So I'm going to be taking my darkest gray color, 50% French gray, and I'm going to go just around all of the edges. This is going to be the darkest. It's going to be where all the shadows are. Is anyone going to be watching the Super Bowl next week, or are we not sports fans here? I don't watch sports other than football. It's the only sport I watch. It's the only sport I like to watch. And my favorite team, the Eagles, made it to the Super Bowl, which I'm very excited about, and really hoping that they go all the way. I know a lot of people simultaneously want and don't want the Chiefs to win again. I think it depends. I don't think I would be necessarily mad if the Chiefs won, but I think it would be nice for someone else to get a win. Yeah, it is a little bit tough for me having it be Chiefs Eagles. I mean, I feel like I can't really lose because either way, I think I would be happy for Travis if he won, but obviously I want the Eagles to win for myself, so either way, I don't think I'll come out. I will say I am an Eagles fan, but I was really hoping that the Lions were gonna make it to the Super Bowl this year. My dad is a die-hard Lions fan ever since I was a kid, and they've never made it to the Super Bowl. And so this year they were doing so well, and my dad would text kind of throughout the whole game, and anyways, it would have been nice to see them get there, but not in the cards this year, I guess. I know a lot of people are really excited for the halftime show. I am not super familiar with Kendrick's music, so I can't say I'm super excited, but I'm very excited for the people who are excited because I know he's very popular and very well loved, so I am happy for them. I think a lot of people were hoping for the Lions. It was kind of as well as they had an incredible season, so they weren't really an underdog, but in the sense of that they've never really made it that far or had that great of a season, I think so many people wanted it for them, and they were just such a good team to root for. Okay, that's the dark color. Just go around everything. Then I'm going to take my second, my mid-tone color. This is a 20% French Gray, and I'm just going to go over what I just did and then add a little bit, just to blend it. I can't remember, but I think last year I did a plan with me where I was working on my bookshelf, and I spent so much time working on the shelf in the background that I hardly had any time to do the actual books, which is probably going to happen again. But luckily this time I don't have that many books to add. But it's all just part of hanging out together. In terms of developing my coloring and drawing, I've always been interested in arts and crafts, and my mom is really crafty, not so much drawing, but she always is doing something crafty, knitting or sewing or whatever. So she's always really encouraged that side of things for me, and my brother is really good at art, and so it's just kind of always been around, and mostly it's just doing it. I didn't really ever, I took art class all through high school, but outside of that it's just kind of been doodling. I don't think I would say I'm really good at traditional art. I like to just say I like to doodle, and then from there I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I think I probably have, had a cake business for a couple of years, and I wanted to be a pastry chef. That was like initially what I went to school for, and absolutely loved it. I love that kind of thing. But it was actually like making and designing the cakes that like really pushed my artistic eye. I would always sketch out what I wanted the cakes to look like, and I loved bringing the cakes to life. My favorite part was like doing the decorating and building little characters out of chocolate, and I think that really like showed me what aspects of art I really like the design side and that kind of thing. So yeah, from there it was that, and then it was around that time that I was like getting back into reading. I was always a big reader as a kid, like always had my nose in a book. And then I lost it for a little while, and then kind of came back to it. And once the cake business ended up being like really stressful and not great for my mental health. So I decided that was better off as like a hobby and something that I do just for fun. And so then I took my love of reading and kind of went for more of like the design side and just haven't really looked back. So, but mostly I think it's just trying new things, and a lot of it is going to be repetition and muscle memory, and learning to look at things as shapes or lines rather than like a full image. I don't know. I feel like I've always just gravitated towards artsy things, but I'm not like super. My husband always makes fun of me because I say I don't feel like I'm super artistic, and he kind of laughs in my face, but I think everybody just has different I look at like other artists and think I'm like nowhere near that, but it's all just a spectrum, right? So anyways, now I'm taking my very lightest shade. This is the 10%, and I'm just like filling it in and going over everything again just to like fill everything in. And then after I do this, I'll take my mid-tone again and even it all out. Scott does not do his own AFB planner. He has the book club book that he's been using and really liking, and last year he did a novel companion. He doesn't read that much, so he doesn't really need like the full planner. He's also like not a planner person. Like he's not an organized like type A type of person. He's very, 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 very laid back and chill, so he doesn't really need to plan anything. But he does like to keep track of like the book club book and stuff, which is why he really loves the book club notebook, because that's pretty much all he reads right now is for the book club. He has a couple of other ones that I've put on his list that I'm like, you have to read these because I think they're his style. So I recommended that he read Project Hail Mary and Red Rising and Ready Player One. So we'll see if he gets to those. I also would love for him to read Fourth Wing so that I have someone to like fangirl about it with. So we'll see. I made the mistake of having him read The Court of Thorns and Roses, and he was not a fan. So sometimes we have to just know that not everything is his cup of tea, but usually, like, he's pretty good. Like, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is one of my favorite books, like, of all time. And when I finished that book, I told him, like, I'd never felt more seen in a book before. And then he, like, immediately picked it up, and he loved it. And so that was really fun for us to, like, connect over and talk about, like, how he saw himself in a different way in that book. So it's really fun. He is very supportive. Great guy. 10 out of 10. We always laughed because when I first came to him with the idea of the Always Fully Booked planner, he was like, I don't get it, but like, you do you kind of thing. Like, didn't really think much of it and didn't really like get it, which like I would not expect him to at all. Like, if anyone prior to like book planning was not a thing 8 years ago, like not like it is today. And so when I said I wanted to do it, like I wouldn't have blamed anyone for thinking I was crazy. Like, everyone thought I was crazy for wanting to do it. And then when I showed my first one, like the one I made just for myself, everyone was like, where can I get one? Where can I get one? And then we did like a pre-order for Black Friday that first year, and I made 20 books because I had no idea what to expect, and they sold out in like 30 seconds or something. So then I had to put up like a pre-order, and yeah, just kind of went from there. So even I didn't really know what to expect. So, yeah. I both love and hate having, every year when I design the bookshelf page, I always like try and put different decorative elements every year. And I always, when I'm drawing them, I was like, oh, these are so cute, I love them. And then when I'm coloring the page, I'm like cursing myself, like, why did I make all these little tiny spaces? They're so hard to color. But it's worth it in the end. Okay. So that's all colored in. Now I'm going to go back in with my mid-tone color and kind of just blend it out a little bit more. It always makes me so happy to like read the comments. I mean, I love the people who like find me like today, but it makes me like feel so, I don't know, giddy for the people who are like have been with me for years or have been with me even from the beginning, because there's so few people that got the very first planner because they didn't do that many. So it's always like so fun to see the people who have like stayed for so long. I love seeing how book planning has evolved over the many years that it's been like around. I think like so many people do it now, especially with like TikTok. It's really blown up to like do your own planner. That's like a big thing. And I don't know, I just think it's really fun. I think of book planning as like, yeah, it's a planner, but it's so much more than that to me. It's like definitely become this like form of self-care that, like I mentioned when we started the live, sometimes like when the world gets too loud and too crazy, I just need to like come and sit down with my planner and color, and yeah, it's even more fun now. I've like really enjoyed doing these lives because I think it's nice to know that we're all kind of connected over this like one thing. And even if you guys aren't working in your planner, we can still like chat and talk about what shows we're watching or what sports team we want to win. And it's just a nice little escape. So as like productive as book planning can be, I think it's just so much more than that, to me especially. And especially something like what I'm doing today, like coloring is like a big self-care thing, and coloring has really blown up over the last few years as well. I'm actually in the process, I don't think anybody knows this, but I'm in the process of making a coloring book. I had a coloring book a couple of years ago, and it had 25 pages in it, and actually did really well. But then I lost the printer that made them for me, and so I'm in the process of making a whole new one, but I'm going to make an even bigger one with like way more pages and like higher quality, and I'm just like really excited to like do that. And then I thought, how fun would it be to just like, I don't know, go live and color while we chat. I even thought, like, depending on people's comfort level, we could start like a little, I don't know, like Zoom club where we can like just chat away to each other or something. So I don't know if anybody has any interest in doing something like that, but I thought that could be something fun to do. Okay, I'm gonna leave the background there for now because I really want to get to coloring some of the books. I feel like I've been working on this forever. Okay, first book I read this year was Fourth Wing. So I'm gonna start with that one. I always do, there's so many different ways to do the bookshelf. People like just do like a single color. People do it based on like the month they read it in, or the rating they gave it, or the genre, or they just write the titles. I always like to try and, to the best of my ability, emulate the book spine, or at least the book cover. And that's what I'm going to do again this year. Just have to sharpen a couple of pencils. Okay, I'm going to take this gold color and see how it turns out. I always do the books first, like all at once, and then I do the titles all at once, so I don't have any smearing, and I don't know, it just makes it easier. Usually I'm also making an Instagram video of coloring my bookshelves, so it just kind of makes sense to do it that way. I think the thing I really like, last year I started doing the plan with me's, but then I stopped doing them pretty early in the year because I was having some health issues and wasn't able to do them anymore. And this year I have just really loved like just sitting down once a month. I know this is only the second time we've done it, but I don't know, it just feels like it'll be really fun for us to do consistently through the year, and we can like focus on different things, or people can do their own thing. Sometimes it's nice to just like set aside a time to do it. I also like always hear that people like kind of as the year goes on, like don't really focus as much on their planner, and I think it would be a really good reminder to like sit down with your planner every now and then. Tried to use a gold colored pencil and I'm not loving it. I'm not gonna lie. It's not my favorite. But the more we know. And try and fix it a little. Sometimes things are just not fixable though. Okay, well, that's as good as it's gonna get. Okay, next I read Just Another Missing Person on audio. I'm gonna gather my supplies. Let's see. Sometimes it's hard to do the color matching. I think those will be good. Does anybody have any exciting plans in February? Anything they're looking forward to? I do not. I pretty much hibernate the entire winter and don't leave my house unless it's absolutely necessary. Oh, that's so exciting that you're watching Gracie live. I saw her in Vancouver when she opened for Taylor at the Eras Tour, and she was so good. So you're in for an excellent show. She's incredible live. She's such a wonderful voice. President's Day weekend. So we're going up to... I think that the American President's Day weekend is the same in Canada. We have... Well, some provinces have Family Day. I think it's the same weekend as your President's Day, but I could be wrong. Is that the weekend of Valentine's Day? Hans Zimmer. Oh, Megan, I'm so jealous. That will be so good. The year that COVID happened, Scott and I were supposed to go to a symphony in Toronto to see Ludvico. I don't know how to say his last name. But then it got canceled because of COVID, and I was devastated because, oh, that's going to be so good. Hans Zimmer is amazing. Why don't you use the first page? What first page? Like the first page of the planner? Like this one? If it is that one, I don't, because I never take my planner anyway, so I don't, like, it never leaves, so I don't really feel like it's necessary to put my name in it. Of the bookshelf, I don't read enough books in the year to fill this one and the big one, and I want all my books to be on one spread. So I'm choosing to put all the books that I'm reading on this one, and I'm going to use this bookshelf for something different and put like a little title here, but I haven't decided what I'm doing with that yet. Yeah, so your President's Day weekend is the same as our family day. So we also have a long weekend, which is exciting. I apologize for being a unknowledgeable Canadian, but what does President's Day celebrate? Like, is it for a specific president? Is it just acknowledging that you have a president? I don't know, so I thought I would ask if someone wants to inform me. I'm not all up on all the American holidays. It was originally for George Washington, his birthday or something. Interesting. As I mentioned earlier, we have certain provinces have Family Day. Other provinces have it called something else, which I don't really know. But Family Day, I believe, is like fairly new. Like, it just kind of came to be within my lifetime for sure. And I think it was just because they wanted another holiday in February or something. Something to do with the way that all works together. And I'm not complaining. I mean, as a small business, as someone who works for themselves, holidays don't really mean as much to me as they mean to other people. But it's still fun, so I appreciate all of you informing me. The book that I'm doing right now is just another missing person, but the cover, I did it on audio, as I mentioned, and when I was looking online for the cover, because that's what I do if I don't own the book, there was like 2 different covers, and I wasn't sure which one would have been my copy, so I just went with the one that I thought was prettier. Because I know they do like different covers for like the UK or whatever, so I went with one that had a really pretty gradient. Okay, so that's that one. see what I read next. I have to look at my computer because I don't remember the order I read things in. Okay, next I read One Dark Window, which was the AFB book club of January and was very good. And it was wonderful to have our little chat the other day here on YouTube. If you missed that, it's saved if you want to go back and watch our chat. Scott joined that one. And we had a lovely conversation about the book. And our next book club read is The Frozen River, which I'm excited about. I'm not sure what books we're going to do. We usually do a poll every month. I'm not sure what books to put in the poll for our March book. So if anyone has any recommendations, I would really like to get some ideas. We try not to do like super new, like not anything that's come out like that month, but anything else is kind of fair game. The One Dark Window spine is a little bit intricate, and I'm not gonna go that intricate with mine. Because I can only do so much with colored pencils. How do we decide what we put in the poll? It's just random. We just kind of, if we had books like on our mind that month or whatever. Yeah, there's not really any rhyme or reason. I think at one point, probably like later on down, I think it would be in May, we want to do all of the books that got second place in the polls, just to like kind of give them another shot. I thought that would be a really fun idea. We did talk about for March doing women authors, since it's that month. So yeah, honestly, we don't really, you'll come to find out that we don't really have many strict plans with the book club. It's all very random and whatever we decide in the moment, because we don't really know what we're doing. I think it's probably interesting. I do my bookshelf video on my Instagram a lot. I mentioned that earlier. And it's always like a minute to like a minute 30 at the most. So now you guys get to see that it actually takes much, much longer. I mean, it's a little bit longer because I'm chit-chatting and getting distracted, but definitely takes a lot longer than what is shown. This book spine is so complicated. I do try and match the actual book spines as much as I can. Obviously, I'm going to lose a lot of detail because it's such a small, condensed space, but I try where I can to make it look at least somewhat similar. Don't always succeed, but it's also really hard to do color matching. What I should do one day is like swatch all of my color pencils, because sometimes the body doesn't represent what they actually look like. Okay. I'm going to attempt to put this figure. One thing I am not so great at is people. So this is going to be very rough. How do you find the spines for when you listen to an audiobook or reading a book? I look them up on either Google or on Instagram on an author's like tagged photos. Usually you can find the book spine there from when people have taken pictures. And so I like preemptively knowing that I was going to do this today, I like pulled up on my computer, which is sitting right in front of me that way. I pulled up all of the spines that I don't own so that I have a reference for when I'm doing this. And then I have the books that I do physically own sitting off to the side over there, so I can like look over and reference. Like One Dark Window is sitting over there, so I can kind of look at it and see, but like I mentioned, it's a little bit tricky to do something that is so detailed on such a small little space. But it didn't turn out that bad. I expected much worse. Okay, let's see what I read after that one. Okay, then I read Lady Tan's Circle of Women, which I did on audio. So we need to get that one. And this one, I am going to cheat a little bit and not do what the spine looks like exactly, because I don't think I will be able to. Because I don't have a bright pink gel pen, so I'm going to just do the green, I think. Need to get some more colored gel pens. I have made quite a mess in front of me. I can't remember if I was talking, probably not, because I think I read this after my last live, but I had someone recommend Lady Tan's Circle of Women to me when I was asking for what books to put on my 25 books in 2025. I had this one recommended quite a few times, and I'd never even heard of it, and then I got it on audio and did it that way, and it was like really interesting. So it takes place in I want to say 15th century China, but the timing might be a little bit off on that. But I never read anything in that time period in that location before, so it was really interesting to read about something different that I hadn't read about before. It has to do a lot with like medicine at that time and women at that time. Some of it was hard to get through, just because the culture is very different than obviously like Western medicine. But I really enjoyed it. And it was nice to get to learn a little bit about a different period of time and a different culture. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one because I don't have the pink to do the details. So after I read that one, what did I read next? I read Iron Flame next. I'm just gonna do, I think, a simplified version. I've heard quite a few people talking about the like graphic, dramatized, whatever they're actually called, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame audiobooks. I've heard so many people talking about them, and I'm really curious about them. I didn't even know that was a thing until someone mentioned it the other day, but I feel like that would be really fun. What is the difference between those and just like the regular audiobook? Like, what makes it different? I think I heard that there's like music. Is it like a full cast as well? Full cast, music and sounds. Oh, that's fun. I should have done that when I did my reread. Maybe when I do another reread before the fourth book comes out, whenever that will be, maybe I'll do it for that. don't think my orange is quite right, but I think it's good enough. This is the one thing I will say about audiobooks, and it's why I haven't done an audiobook of like some of my favorite books, is because I have found that narrators can like make or break the story for me, and I just like wouldn't, you just never know until you're in it. And I think I don't get that when I'm reading. I've had that before with like other books where the narrator or like the way they do certain voices or whatever just like, I don't know, doesn't work for me. And so it's hard with audiobooks. Audiobooks are so convenient and so incredible. They have brought reading to so many different people who maybe wouldn't have been able to read otherwise. So this is definitely coming from a privileged perspective. But at the same time as like a certain narrator might not like be my favorite, there are some narrators that really, really bring a story to life in a way that just regular reading doesn't. I felt that way about when I did Daisy Jones and the Six on audio. That narration of that like just brought that book to life and made it so real that I don't think just reading it would have done. So I think there's just so much to be said for audiobooks. There's good and bad, as there is with any format. I think I also initially really struggled with audiobooks. Someone said that they tried, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just not for you. But for me, I tried and I really struggled in the beginning. I found I had to like kind of train my brain in order to process reading in a different way. And it took some time and like practice, and I started just like listening while I was doing like a really boring task like folding laundry. That way I wasn't fighting for my attention, or like cleaning, something that like I didn't have to like really think about. And that really helped kind of like train my brain. And even now there's like certain tasks I can't do both at the same time. But yeah, it's certainly not for everyone. Okay, that was Onyx Storm. I didn't mention that, but that one was Onyx Storm. And let's see what we have next. Okay, we have Here One Moment, which I just did on audio and really enjoyed it. Like a lot. It's a really interesting book with a really interesting concept, and I thought it was really well done. Just have to find the right blue. Yeah, focus is a big thing with audiobooks for sure. As I mentioned before, I had to like really kind of train my brain to like read that way. I did what someone else said. They said they follow along in the ebook. I've done that before where I followed along in the physical book. Sometimes that helps as well. But yeah, sometimes it's just not for you, and that's okay. They help me a lot when I am like working and designing. I tend to listen to a lot of audiobooks that way. If I'm just drawing, I kind of like to have something else going on. But, or like I said, like chores and stuff. And a lot of people do it while they're driving. I don't know if I would be able to like focus on driving. Already like isn't my favorite activity to do in the world, so I don't know that I could focus on driving and an audiobook, but it depends on the book too. I also found I can't do as much fantasy on audiobook. There's too many details I feel like I'm missing. But like contemporary or mysteries are really good on audio. Something that maybe doesn't take as much brain power. Oh yeah, I just started learning how to crochet. And I've been doing audiobooks while I crochet as well. So yeah, it's always fun to have something like else on the go. I don't think I could just like sit and listen to a book. I always have to be doing something else, but that's just because I'm like always on the go, always doing something. Actually, I was just thinking that I don't know how I'm going to do the title for the one that I'm working on right now because it goes from light to dark so quickly. And I don't know what color. I think the title is white. I probably should have done less of the gradient. Maybe I'll extend it so that there's less white, even though the actual spine has more white. Give me some room. I've done like coloring while I listen to audiobooks before too. That one's a really good one. But yeah, usually it's like laundry or cleaning. Okay, there's that one. It's really coming along. Look how cute they are. Got one more book to do, I think. And this one I actually don't know what it looks like, so I'm just going to do it black. Because that is the closest to the cover. I know not everyone probably has time for like extra hobbies, what with life just being so busy sometimes, but if you guys have any like other hobbies you do, like besides reading, of course, what kind of hobbies do you guys do? Like I mentioned, I'm learning how to crochet. That's been really fun. I usually always have some kind of like craft on the go. I did embroidery for a while, which I'd really like to get back into. I don't know if it counts as a hobby, but I've been doing a lot of fitness things lately. So that takes up a giant chunk of my time. Scott and we talked about getting like a gym membership, but we like priced it out and decided that for us it made more sense to make a home gym. So we've been working on that, and we've both been like really getting into doing fitnessy things. In the summer we really like to go kayaking and do some gardening, that kind of thing. But I'm always looking for new hobbies, so if video games. Scott is very big into the video games. I've tried, like, I can get into, like, cozy games, but, not one much for, he tried to, like, get me to play, he does this one game called PUBG, or Player something Underground, I don't know. He tried to get me to do it, to try it, and it was the most stressful experience of my life. It was just like yelling and gunfire and steps coming towards me. I couldn't even think. I was just like freaking out and yelling the whole time. So I don't think those kind of video games are for me. But I do really enjoy the like cozy games. Scott would 100% play Lego Fortnite with you. He would be all for that, I will tell him. I think he would really like that. I did Animal Crossing for a long time, and then I can't remember the name of it, but there was like a witch game that came out. I don't remember if it was last year. And then there's this like puzzle game. It's called, I think it's called A Little to the Left. That one's really fun. And it was like right up my alley because I like that kind of things. Okay, I'm gonna do my titles now. So grab a couple of pens for that. And I'm going to turn them this way. Okay. Need Black Burst. So hard to talk and write at the same time. I remember it was last Plan With Me video. I was chatting away and writing something and misspelled something, and one of you had to point it out. I'm not great at doing two things at once. I've seen a lot of people talk about The Sims lately. Is that having like a comeback? Or did it never really go away and I just didn't know? I've never played The Sims before. When I was a kid, my parents wouldn't let me. I don't know why. And yeah, I just never played it. I used to play as a kid. Roller Coaster Tycoon. You guys ever play that game? I don't know why The Sims just reminded me of that, but okay, I think I need a thicker pen. What's your trick to write on the spines with the white gel pen? I get so frustrated with it because the ink will not flow for lack of friction on the colors. Yeah, the white gel pen can be really tricky. When I get to a white title, I will tell you what I do, but it's just what has worked for me. Yes, Roller Coaster Tycoon from the cereal box. Oh, the cereal box video game, those were the best. Simpler times. I need to go back to that. It's like the highlight of my week to go to the grocery store with my mom and pick out a cereal that had a video game in it. Honestly, what a time to be alive. Okay, I'll do white for the next one just to discuss it. So I am using the Jelly Roll 08. Some people have had a lot of issues with this one. So some people also use, I think I have one, Uniball Sino. A lot of people have had a lot of success with this one if they don't like the Jelly Roll. I've had more issues with this one than I have with this one, but I think it's because I know how to work with the Jelly Roll. So yeah, for me, I have a scrap piece of paper nearby to get the ink flowing initially, and then I use very light pressure and just kind of like glide it on the page. I don't press. I don't try and write normally. It's like really, really light pressure. I actually don't know how I'm going to fit this title in the space. You have to do 2 lines. So I just kind of like get the ink going and then just really slowly and lightly push the tip of the pen in the letter forms. And I almost do like little tiny strokes. Like I pick up my pen very frequently. But it can definitely be finicky. I get that comment from people a lot. There might be another better white pen out there. I just haven't found one that's as vibrant as this one, which is why I like it. But it definitely takes some like getting used to. I got this one in a set that comes with different sizes. So there's like a 06, a 08, and a 10. And the 10 is the easiest one to work with, but I find it's too big for doing the titles. It's fine for like some other details, but I find the 8 is the perfect. The 6 just doesn't work. It's too small. So the 8 is my preference. I find there's some colors, like if the pencil or colored pencil is really waxy, sometimes the white just like kind of absorbs the color a little bit and doesn't look as crisp. I don't know how to avoid that. I think it's just the colored pencils, but sometimes I'll go over it after it's dried. But most of the time I try not to worry about it. At the end of the day, it's just a bookshelf. It doesn't bother me that much. And then sometimes I use like a brush pen, which is what I'm going to use for One Dark Window. that. And then go back to white. I saw someone talk about how they take their jelly roll, because they were also, I think I saw this on TikTok, and they like warm it up in their hands first. I'd never tried that before, but it might work. Sometimes, like I said, you just have to get the ink like started. I have found the scrap piece of paper really works for me. Does anyone have any plans for the rest of their day? I have some laundry I need to fold. And I was thinking about maybe making some muffins for the week. And then probably try and do some reading after I decide what I want to read. Okay, next we have Iron Flame. I used to have a gold gel pen that I absolutely loved, and now I've lost it. I have no idea where it is, and I have this gold one, and it's not really that gold. It looks gold, but it's not, but we're gonna use it anyways. Maybe. Going on a Costco run. We need eggs, and everywhere else is $20 a dozen. Wow. I actually have heard that egg prices are crazy, but I didn't know it was that crazy. Fun fact, Scott and I just got a Costco membership like a week ago for the first time. We both are not crowd people, so Costco was like avoided at all costs for the both of us. But then we found out we can order online, and that kind of was a game changer for us. Ever since I got a Costco membership, then of course now my TikTok is like showing me like every Costco haul ever. And so yeah, now we're I mean, we've only ordered from there once, and the person who got our order like didn't deliver like half of it, so that wasn't fun. So we haven't had a great experience with Costco so far, but we'll see. I'm willing to try again. This title is probably a better one to show how I'm using the white pen because it's bigger, but it's just super slow, honestly. I have driven by our like local Costco at totally different times of the day, on weekdays, mornings, afternoons. It doesn't matter. That parking lot is always so full. I don't know what it like. It seems like Costco is just everyone is always there all the time. I don't get it. I think I'm gonna do this title down here. Maybe I'll add a little butterfly at the top. For our next plan with me, that will be early March. Is there anything specific that you guys would like to see or do in a plan with me? I know last time someone mentioned doing the bookshelf, which is why I thought it would be fun to do it for this one. But if there's something kind of specific, I think the April one, maybe I'll do the quarterly check-in one. But if you have any suggestions for the March one, feel free to let me know. Got one last title here, and then gotta figure out if I'm gonna put a butterfly or not. I'm a little bit worried I'm gonna ruin it. Be an update on how reading challenges are going for you. Yeah, I can do that. I did show my reading challenges at the beginning of this one, but I think it would be fun at the beginning of every plan with me to do like a little like planner update, like here's where I am at in my planner. But maybe the next one can just be like more of like a general catch up. And then in April, we'll do the quarterly check-in. Okay. There's where we're looking so far. I think I want to fix my fourth wing title at some point. I think I need to do like a darker or a thicker black. So I might go over that once it's had some time to dry. And maybe I'll see if I can do a butterfly. go. Okay. That's what we're looking like on the shelf so far. And I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm gonna leave it there for the bookshelf page. For now, I need to get a better gold gel pen. Does anyone have any suggestions for a good gold gel pen? Because I'm not loving the one that I have. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything else to really do in my planner. So I'll probably wrap it up here unless someone has anything they want to see, anything that they want to ask, anything else. The gold one that I have is a Jelly Roll Moonlight, but I just don't like the gold. It's not very metallic. Do I print the covers now? I do. For my reviews, I have them in there. But I haven't done them in my reading challenge yet because I haven't decided. I haven't settled on where things will be. So for now, I've just written them in pencil. And I think I'm gonna figure out a way I can like move them around until I settle on one. The Sino is, I think that's the one I used to have and I've lost it. I think I just need to repurchase it. But that one is a nice one. It's very metallic and very gold. This will be saved to my channel under the lives tab. You can always go back and watch any live I've ever done. Which I really like about the YouTube is it's easy to save them and anything. So anyways, does anyone have any other questions, things that they want to know or talk about before we end? I have very much enjoyed our time together this afternoon. I really needed to do this and kind of escape my brain for a while. So thank you for joining me. What's my favorite color? Right now, I would say it's like a deep navy blue. Show us from your colored pencils. Okay. Not the color of the actual tip, but the color of the body of like this one. I would say like a deep navy blue. I've been partial to that for a little while. What colors did you use for the shelf part? I did mention that earlier in the video, so once this ends, you can go back and watch if you want all the colors I used. But I used beige, sand, light umber, and chocolate, I think, were the ones that I used for the tan part. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. Again, really thank you for joining me. It was very much needed and very lovely to sit down and chat with you guys and do some coloring and work on our planners together. If you feel so inclined, feel free to like share what you worked on in your planner, either in the Facebook group or you can tag me on Instagram and I'll share them. I'd love to see what you guys were working on. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and chatting, and we'll do this again next month. I'll post on my Instagram and on the Facebook group a little bit closer to the time once we have the dates figured out, but we'll do this again soon. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. So bye.